Dzień dobry. Assalamu alaikum. Namaste. Ciao. Konnichiwa. Bonjour. Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's Ken at 10. How are you today? I hope you're well. First things first, must say thoughts and prayers going out to the families affected by the tragic knife crimes in Croydon over the weekend. We need to do more to support our young people, especially in lockdown. And in my view, one of the great tragedies is taking away all the youth support, all the sports and, things like boxing clubs. We've got a fantastic ice rink up the road. We should get them in there playing ice hockey. We should be funding that, getting people occupied for the right reasons. Brent over. How are you today? I hope you're well. If you haven't been here before, thanks for joining us. This is Ken at 10 because I'm Ken and it's 10. We're estate agents based in Southwest 16, Norbury to be precise, which is situated between Streatham and Croydon. Everybody says, where's that? Where are you? Well, that's where we are. Lovely little area, zone 3, if you're interested in commuting or living, good value, affordable, and full of lovely people. So that's us. A few things in the news today. Lots on stamp duty, actually. Quite interestingly, there's a number of things on that, and I think we're getting an indication of what is going to happen now. So stand by. First of all, something from Gerard Lyons in the Daily Telegraph, a senior fellow at the Policy Exchange think tank and advisor to Boris when he was London mayor. He's urged the Chancellor to extend the stamp duty holiday permanently or even scrap the tax altogether. I was quite encouraged when I read this until I go on to the next headline, which I'll come to in a moment. Mr. Lyons said the current stamp duty holiday should become permanent, with stamp duty being abolished on lower valued properties. Wouldn't that be the move? To abolish it on lower valued properties, it would really unlock the bottom of the market. For some time, I've been saying how the very bottom of the market is the thing that gridlocks everything else above it. What he says is temporary freezes in stamp duty are not a solution as they prompt a spurt in demand as people try to buy before the tax is raised again, pushing prices higher, out of reach of many first-time buyers. The Telegraph notes the Policy Exchange has a strong track record of having its suggestions adopted by the government. However, next headline, the Mail reports that ministers have now ruled out a new levy to replace stamp duty and council tax after reviewing proposals for a proportional tax based on the value of homes. A government spokesman yesterday said we have no plans to introduce a new form of annual property tax. And then on from that, and I think this is the most significant one, more than 610,000 homeowners could get home buyers could get a lifeline next month. The Chancellor, Rishi Sunak, has ordered Treasury officials to ensure those whose deals are already in the pipeline do not lose out. There's a hint there, isn't there? Those are already in the pipeline to not lose out. The Treasury insists that the tax break must come to an end, but the Chancellor wants to make sure buyers enticed into the property market by the scheme are not penalised. This is interesting and suggests a direction of travel, doesn't it? I don't think we're going to hear anything until the budget on March the 3rd. I've said this for a while, but by the same token, I think there's a clear indicator here that this is what the government tend to do. They tend to leak things out, see how the sentiment goes, and then decide what to do once they see what that sentiment is. And I think here we're starting to see a direction of travel. I suspect, my gut feeling is that they're going to extend it, but only for those currently involved in purchase. We'll see. Mark Hayward of Property Mark warned the 31st of March stamp duty cliff edge could cause thousands of sales to fall through at the final hurdle and have a drastic effect on the market. A Treasury spokesman said the government keeps stamp duty under review and is closely monitoring the market. So they've released that, and I think that's the first sign of a direction of travel. Not I particularly like it, but it's better than it could have been. At least it doesn't look like it's going to be hard and fast. Housing affordability is at its worst level since 2008. Britain's looking to take the first step, now have to save for an additional 2 years to get a deposit together. Well, that's hardly surprising given that deposit has to be 20% these days, is it? Very frustrating. The build-to-rent revolution, this is an interesting one for a while now. Build-to-rent is something that's come along, and the government have said this is going to be the thing that replaces the small landlord. They're building far less than would ever work to replace the gap of the small landlord, by the way. But what they say is it's becoming increasing. This is in the Telegraph saying it's becoming increasingly popular amongst investors looking for stable returns. When asked to discuss the future of purpose-built rental accommodation in the UK, one executive replied, "Why do we enter the sector? Well, off the record, renting doesn't need to be blank, blank. I'm sorry, but renting isn't. And that just shows ignorance, in my view. The vast majority of the small landlords let decent properties to nice people, and renting isn't. blank blank. But anyway, the sentiment is shared by many in the sector. It goes on to say, it's only been 10 years since the first build to rent scheme was signed off, but now the model makes up 20% of new builds in the capitals. Well, it's good that the new property is going over to the rental side. That will help quench supply, but it's nowhere near adequate, nowhere near. Mortgages, end of the road for long-term mortgages. First-time buyers looking to boost the amount they can borrow found it almost impossible to get long-term mortgages in 2020. That's because for a while now, first-time buyers have been doing 40-year mortgages. I know, shocking, isn't it? Imagine. And that actually would take them into retirement. So you can see why lenders want to scale back on that. Last year, according to the Financial Conduct Authority, by 2019, 2,400 such deals were agreed. Financial planning company Quilter says the trend suggests that last year's drop was not just because of the coronavirus. On the face of it, a marathon mortgage can be a good way to get someone's foot on the property ladder. But what you might save in payments, you'll pay for hand over fist in interest over the term. Well, the truth is, it's only one term, isn't it? And you'll be remortgaging because that's the way the housing market goes. Fire safety, cladding, the government have announced a fund of $5 billion. The difficulty with that is that the cost is estimated at roughly 15 billion. So I don't know what are they going to do? We don't know. It still sounds like a bit of a soundbite, but it is a substantial sum of money. Robert Jenrick met last week to agree the money will benefit leaseholders will face average cost of 40,000 each to replace dangerous cladding. Well, we're still not happy with that. Still don't think that really solves the issue, because many people have already paid. Some people are going to pay, and I'm not sure how the government are going to play the fact that they've got less money than is needed to go around. How do you allocate that? Time will tell. Apart from that, how are you today? I hope you're well. Things here are cold. It is snowing in... No, actually, I think the snow, yeah, it is still coming down lightly. It's not actually... No, it's not actually settling on the ground. It's just kind of in the air at the moment. But the roads are a bit treacherous. We've got a couple of staff members couldn't make it in today. But we've still got the team here, enough of us to help you to find a property to buy or rent. So I hope you're well. Hope you keep your families safe. And that's it for Ken at 10 today. Hope you have a fantastic day. Stay safe.